nail polish 10 toes down. Yeah. Hello everyone and welcome to the Thread Life. If this is your first time here, welcome. In today's video, we'll be going over how I achieved this braided look. These brown with honey blonde highlights, auburn highlights, boho knotless braids. Before we get into the details on this hair and how to do this style, I want to give a huge thank you to Eayonhair for sponsoring today's video. I used their body wave hair to achieve this look, and y'all hear a lot of people do these types of videos and say that the bundles are full, but when I say these bundles were full, like there is so much hair in my head. And it's not even the braids, because I don't have that many braids. It's the bundles. It's the bundles. It's the hair. They sent me over 3 bundles. And at first I was trying to get it all in. But by the end, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be able to get all of this hair into my head and have it be something that's manageable for me, especially in this heat. But I did use 2.5 bundles. This is all the hair that I had left. And low-key, this looks like almost one full bundle, but in a second you will see exactly what I mean when I say that these bundles are full, voluptuous. They have a lot of different textures, and we'll talk a little more about that a little later in the video. Also, all of the FAQs will be listed at the end of the video because I know y'all just want to see what y'all came here to see, which is me showing you how to achieve this look. What I will say before we jump into the video is that you cannot be lazy when using body wave hair. A lot of times you'll see people feed in the hair, they add the piece in, throw the piece that'll be left out up, and they keep on braiding down. That will not work with this style. With body wave hair, in order to achieve a seamless look and not have your pieces sticking up all over your head, you either need to do the quick feed in and then crochet it through later so that it can lay flush against your braid, or you need to actually braid it in and fish your piece out in order to achieve this seamless look. That was my frustration when I started this style, and I knew after row 1 I was gonna have to trust the process. But eventually I did figure out my rhythm for feeding the hair in, fishing out those pieces, and getting a nice and seamless look. And I'm very pleased with the results. I was not going for a look that was this long, but we're here and I'm never mad at length. Just coming out of a boho knotless bob and coming into this style was very interesting as far as the weight. But again, it's not even the weight of the braids, it's the hair. Because you will see I added a lot of human hair into these braids because I just wanted that flowy, more hair, less braids look. And I also am very grateful that it still gets into a nice and petite bun that isn't too bulky or big. You'll also see that at the end of the video once I show how to install the braids. Without further ado, let's get right into this tutorial, and I'll see you at the end for some frequently asked questions. First things first, let's get into this unboxing. Again, this hair was supplied by Eayonhair, and these bundles were extremely full. I'm just showing y'all how thick they are. And they also had these golden highlights, which I did enjoy because it blended well with the braiding hair that I use, which is the Rua 4, 27 and 30 mix and 24 inches. The colors did come pretty broken up, so I just took it apart and kept putting it back together until I had the blend that I liked, and this is what I came up with in the end. Once I took the bundle wrap off, I'm showing it to y'all one more time because I just could not believe the fullness. These are the size pieces that I used to separate the hair on my wooden racks, and then of course I have to use my 3-way mirror because there's no other way. We're starting off with freshly blown dry and shampooed hair, conditioned as well of course, and I tried to get into the product that everybody raves about, but it has absolutely nothing on my Love Letter Braid Balm. That will be restocking soon. Once again, I've learned that it's best to start your parting at that section right at the ear, and from there I like to drop it down to 2 rows below and 4 to 5 rows on top. So you see me just going in and sectioning that out so I can see where I need to start. And then once I have a good idea of where each row will be, I can go in with my braiding gel, clean up those parts, and get to braiding. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but that's fine. I do not like to pre-part my entire head. I feel like it can waste time, so I get straight to parting out and then we go into those sections. You will see that I did not fully show how to do this first braid because it was a doozy. I sped through feeding in the hair. Like I told y'all in the beginning of the video, this is not the way to do it. And I also added too much braiding hair, and I realized that these braids were going to be too thick. So I learned my lesson, and I'm going to show you all after I get through the first few rows how I actually fed in the hair. This is the crochet method that I like to use whenever the hair is starting to stick out. You just pull the needle through the braid, grab that hair and pull it back through the braid so that it can lay flush against the braid. I hate for boho braids to have all of those pieces just sticking out. But here's what we did so that we did not have to use that method for the entire head, because for a while I was doing the braid, quickly feeding in the hair, and then having to crochet it. But baby, that was taking too much time. So I'm going to show you my choreo style method for fishing out those small pieces of hair. Once we get closer to the top, here's how we're looking so far at the top of the ear. And this was about when I split it up into the second day, but you can see the fullness is there. I split up those last 4 rows, and then that's how I feed in my human pieces for a more seamless finish. Please don't focus on that crater on my head, focus on these braids. So you go in with your first 3 turnovers, you bring in that first piece of human hair, and when you want a more hair than braids look, the key is to start each braid with a human hair piece. After you feed in that first piece of human hair, you do a braid motion on each side, and then you're going to bring in your first piece of braiding hair, do another braid motion on each side, bring in your second piece of braiding hair, and then you're going to do that once more and bring in your last piece of braiding hair. After that, you're going to braid down 4 times, add in that piece of braiding hair fully on both sides. Once you get that human hair piece in, you're going to braid down on each side 4 times. That's when you're going to slick down your hair with some more product, switch over twice more, and then that's when you fish out the human hair. So it's 6 turnovers altogether before you're able to fish it out from the same side that you fed it into. From that point, I like to braid down 4 more times, and then I add in my next piece of human hair and do the same process all over. You add in the human hair, braid down 4 times, add some product 2 more times, feed out your human hair piece. And that was pretty much the choreography that I used the entire time to make sure that I was feeding out that human hair piece on time. It was so annoying trying to fish it out until I figured out the count. And once you do, you just continue that same pattern all the way down until you've added enough pieces in. For me, I started off adding 6 pieces of human hair in the back, and by the time I was at the top, I was adding in about 12 pieces of human hair. But that's only because I wanted a very human hair heavy look. If you don't want that much human hair to show, you don't have to add that much in. I tied my ends because after doing my bob, that's just the best way for me. And then I cut off the loose ends and move on to the next. That was all I had in me for day 1. I finished the last 4 rows on the second day, and you'll see me switch over to that point now, and I'll come back when it's time to finish up to walk through a couple more braids with y'all. If you're not new to my boho styles, then you know I like to have those 2 bangs in the front of the human hair pieces coming down. So as with all of the other braids for this style, I started off this front braid with a piece of human hair so I could make sure that I had that piece to bring down. And then after I switch over once on each side, I add in my first piece of braiding hair, switch over once on each side again, second piece of braiding hair, and I only added 2 at the start of this braid because I did not want them too thick. I found that I was adding more braiding hair than I originally would have liked to. So from there, I went straight into adding the human hair, and you'll see I do 4 times braided down, add in my product, braid down 2 more times, fish that piece out. And then I'm going to braid down 4 more exchanges, 1, 2, 3, 4, add in my next piece of human hair. Once I get that piece added, I'm going to braid down 4 times, smooth it with some product, 2 more times, fish it on out. And there will be times where you don't necessarily need any more product added, and then in that case you can just braid down the full 6 and then fish it out. Counting to 6 just reminds you, okay, take that piece back out so you're not just forgetting to pull out your boho pieces. And continue that pattern all the way down until you get to the end once more. And then rather than burning my ends, I secured them with a knot, and I found that I like that method a lot better. I know depending on which is your dominant hand, you may like to feed in on different sides. So I wanted to show the start of the last braid and feed it in those first couple of pieces, and then from there we'll go into finishing off the ends. As far as finishing your ends off, please do not dip your human bulk hair in boiling hot water. You want to separate all of the braiding hair from the human hair, clip that up out of the way, and then braid down on the braiding hair and dip those ends in boiling hot water. I secure my ends with rubber bands so that they don't unravel before I'm ready for them to. As soon as you get them out of the water, towel dry them a little bit, you can unravel them, and that's pretty much it. We have our finished look, baby. Get into it. Get into the flow, okay? And that's just about all for this tutorial. I hope that you were able to take something and learn from it. Miss Girl, save your coin. I'm about to go on vacation and I'll be wearing these braids on vacation, and I originally had a different style that I wanted in mind, but hindsight being 2020, I am so glad that I now have that money in my pocket and I got in the mirror, got in the field, and did these myself, because it's the perfect vacation style. I will be in and out of a lot of water. When I swim down. I get my hair wet. And these I will be able to shampoo just like regular hair, let them air dry, and we'll be good to go. As far as frequently asked questions, timing wise, y'all know normally I say how long it has taken me. I did this style twice, on my mom and on a friend over the weekend, and it took me 4 hours to do each of theirs. But on myself, I will say last time it took me 6 hours to do this on myself, but this time I did not time myself. I was just vibing. I did not time myself, but I did do it over a span of 2 days, as you saw in the video. As far as the hair that I use almost 2 packs of braiding hair and then 2.5 bundles of the human hair. But I love the dimension of the color. Yeah, that ease. I'm also pleased to say that I will be working with Eayonhair for 2 more videos, showing you 2 more styles and also 2 more different colors. So be sure to stay tuned for that and come back so that you can see the different textures that they offer, and again 2 different colors that they also offer. And let me show you what I mean as far as it's still getting a nice bun. So I'm still able to achieve a good size bun without it being massive, because most of the weight here is the human hair and not the braids themselves. As previously stated, I will be in and out of the water and on vacation with this hairstyle, so I'm interested to see how the hair holds up when I'm washing it, manipulating it, bunning it, putting it up and down, as far as shedding and as far as how the texture of the hair holds up. So be sure to meet me in the comments. I will update you all as far as how the hair holds up in the next couple of weeks. And if there are any other styles that you would like to see, because clearly the hair videos are back in rotation on the Thread Life, then go ahead and let me know that in the comments as well. All of the hair links will be listed in the description box, and I thank you for tuning into this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. All my set members, I'll see you in the Orlando vlog, and if you stop by for the hair tutorials, I'll see you in the next one very, very soon. Later.